welcome to my living room studio tour. In this video, I will be going over the products that I use for my product reviews or any video shot in this space. With that said, most items are actually on a budget, so if you wanted to do something similar to what I have here, you will be able to do that. And I think it will surprise a lot of people how easy it is to do something like this in your own office or in your own living room. Speaking of office, I've already done a setup tour on the channel, and you will find that linked in the description as well as on your screen to my office tour that I've done previously, and it's my section of the office. I'm still working on my wife's section, so stay tuned for that video in the future. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Alright guys, before we jump into the video, I want to give a shout out to my friend Grave. I've known him for a while now, and he's an awesome dude, awesome content creator here on YouTube, as well as a streamer. So if you're interested in Call of Duty or just some kind of entertaining content, then I will leave links down to his stuff in the description, as well as he's an actual graphic designer, and he's phenomenal at what he does. The artwork that he puts out is crazy fantastic, and matter of fact, he's done thumbnails for the channel already. So I just want to give a quick shout out to him. He didn't ask me to do this or anything like that. It's just something that I wanted to do personally for him because like I said, he makes great content, and I believe giving credit where credit's due is a very important thing, especially when we're all trying to be content creators out here. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let's continue. So I've been trying to record this section of the vlog style for the YouTube studio tour, and I was supposed to use this product that I reviewed very recently, but I found the max brightness lifespan of that thing is about 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's how long I've been sitting here trying to record this section. I have mental issues. That's why this section is taking so long, and it usually takes me a long time to even record product reviews because, again, I have mental issues. So just bear in mind, please just support the video because it's really hard to do these kind of things for me. I'm gonna try to make it short and sweet as possible and straight to the point. So let's go ahead and jump into this YouTube studio tour. Again, if you're interested in any of the products that I mentioned in this video, there will be a kit link linked down in the description to all the products that I use. And most of these products, again, you can still find at Walmart on the shelves inside the store for very, very cheap. Okay, so starting off first, we have the Govee lights. As you can see, light strips. There's two different versions. There's one with 2 spools inside the box, and there's one with 1 spool inside the box. The 2 spools cover up to 49.2 feet, and they're about $50. And then the single spool that you can find covers up to like 24 or 25 feet, something like that. And that one is roughly around $40. And again, those are available in Walmart. Highly, highly recommend Govee products because they're one of the best, if not the best, RGB lighting solutions that you can get into your content creation or YouTube space or just gaming space in general. As you can see, in every space I've used them. Even in my bedroom, I have the same lights in the ceilings and stuff like that, and even on a light strip around my bed. Again, you can find them in the links in the description, or just go to your local Walmart and pick some up. You won't regret it. You can see we also have a single strip around this canvas. This canvas was around $5 to $10. My wife found it at Ross. Canvas signs like this can get kind of expensive, so just keep that in mind if you are looking for something like that to put on your wall. These lamps over here that you see on either side, they're $20 at Walmart. You can get different versions, but this one just has the top light and the reading light, as they call it. And again, they're $20. These light bulbs, RGB light bulbs, are smart lights that hook up to your Alexa or Google device. And they're coming in a pack of 4 for around like $20, I want to say, too, as well. And obviously they just add some accent lighting to the backdrop or wherever. And if you've seen my recent videos, you would see them in there. And I think, honestly, hands down, they look pretty cool, especially with the Govee lights and stuff like that. Moving right along, the decor that you see on the wall and stuff is crafting stuff that my wife made and stuff like that from her own DIY projects. And some of them don't really stick on the wall because of my place that I rent from. They use very, very cheap paint on the walls. So sometimes what you would use to hang up would fall off or wherever, and we don't want to put a whole bunch of holes in the walls because you have to pay for that kind of stuff. Hence why they use cheap paint, because they want you to put holes in the walls, so you have to pay for stuff. If you ever rented or are renting, you know what I'm talking about. Really, really cool stuff. Hopefully I can get her to make her own, YouTube channel pretty soon covering stuff like this. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, show some supports in the comment section so I can, give her a little bit of more encouragement and incentive to, go ahead and do that sort of thing. So people come over, they have a couch, they can sit on a bed or, sleep there if they need to, like spend the night for whatever reason or something like that. But we never have anybody come over because it's just, we don't have any friends. Moving on, we have this chair right here that I've had. It's just a fold out metal chair. It's what I use to sit on to record my videos. I like it because the back of the chair or nothing like that gets in the shot, and it just looks more professional that way. But again, sitting there for hours on end, like I said, some videos like the keyboard review that I did for the 75% keyboard, I sat there for like 5 to 6 hours in that chair, just trying to record that video. And the video turned out to be like 6 minutes long, just because of my mental issues. So again, I wish I had a really better chair for that scenario. But moving on to this, what I've created over here, what you saw in the beginning of the video, wherever, is a nice little shot that I've made for another portion of the YouTube setup. So this is probably where I would do most of my vlog type videos that are like more laid back and stuff, that I was alluding to earlier. As you can see, we got 2 flood lamps back there. They're from Vivitar. I've talked about them. You could have found them in Walmart or wherever, but essentially you could just get 2 flood lamps back there. That's pretty much where they are. They're sitting on cheap tripods aimed up to these blackout curtains, as you can see right here, that pretty much just black out the sun or wherever, because the sun literally shines on this side of the house all the time, and it's just beaming through the living room. So if you want to control color, temperature, lighting, again, these are 100% blackout curtains. I just have them oversized over the windows, just tacked down or wherever to completely block out the sun, so I can comfortably shoot videos and do videos out here. The 2 lamps on the sides right here, as you can see right there and right there, are the Govee floor lamps. I've talked about them previously in a previous video, and essentially is one of them did not do RGB lighting because it would cause the blue and the purple hue through the RGB lighting would cause flickering and kind of like it would be seizure inducing. So what I ended up doing was contacting Govee and asking them, is there a fix for this, or can I get a replacement strip or whatever? And they actually sent me out a brand new one or wherever. And since the old one that was messed up still works in the white spectrum lighting without flickering or wherever, I just put both of them out here to add that little, different color, temperature to the shot or wherever. And I think it came out pretty good. So again, just another sit down spot that I could do, like I said, the more laid back videos and just talk to you guys on a more personal level. So that's the little shot right there. If you're interested, again, in any of these products I'm about to go over right now, there will be a link down in the description to the kit that has all this stuff set up for cameras. This is the Sony ZV EV10. Hopefully I'm saying that right, because the naming scheme for some of this stuff is crazy, but this is just a newer field monitor, so it just makes what you see on camera or wherever, or in video, it just displays it on a bigger screen or wherever. So when the camera's further away or I have my glasses off or something like that, I can still see what's in frame and what's in shot. This is just a shotgun mic that I use for the audio to record if I'm not using the wireless lavalier mic that I'm using right now. And then it's on a cheap tripod that you can get from Walmart, the On brand or wherever, but it's just a cheap tripod. And all this stuff is inexpensive other than the cameras. The cameras are the most expensive stuff out here for this setup. Moving right along, this is a pack of newer softbox light solutions or wherever. They're usually over $100, but I was able to get this 2-pack or whatever, which is a newer upgraded model that I got on Amazon for around like 80 bucks, but they're usually over 100. But the reason why I went with the updated model instead of the cheaper older model is because the newer model actually has room in the back of it for batteries that you can buy separately, because they don't come with the batteries, but they come with direct outlets for the walls, but they come with these sections where you can put these batteries in the back. And on those batteries, I could say you get, depending on the brightness that you have on your softbox lights, you can get about 2 to 3 hours off of the 2 batteries that you put in each one. So if you do get these, you can technically use them like outside for lighting and stuff like that and travel with them. I would suggest just making sure that you get enough rechargeable batteries and recharging docks or whatever to be able to do that sort of thing. They go through the full spectrum of color temperature. Usually for me in color temperature, other than right now, I usually like to keep my color temperature around 3600 just for my skin tone. I feel like that's the most flattering, especially for cameras and all that stuff. So that's usually what I do. I usually have one off to the left or the right of me in front, and then one and the adjacent behind me. So one would be on a different, slightly different color temperature, the one that's behind me, and then the one in front is the 3600 Kelvin color temperature. And then I have the one in front of me, other than the last video I just did, I have them around like 30 to 40%, and then the one behind me is usually around 50%, just to keep that degree of background separation. But yeah, highly recommend them. You can even use them for your streaming if that's what you want to do. You can always just buy one and not have the pack of 2 or something like that. And I think there's even a pack of 3, but up to 2, I think for most spaces, especially if you're doing that at in-home like situation studio, like I am, the pack of 2 is just fine. Moving on, we have this over here. It's just a storage bin that has on top of it all the mouse mats that I use. They are actually mouse mats, double-sided mouse mats for products to sit on top of, and I just film for like unboxing and stuff. I even have smaller ones just in case, depending on how big the product is. I have a dummy battery over here for the Sony ZV-1 that I'm using right now to record the vlogger style. So it allows me to just plug it to a wall outlet and keep it powered instead of using batteries, because if you're recording in 4K and you're doing long hours, your battery drains a lot. I've already had to change the battery once on this thing during the 2-hour and 30-minute stint. Over here, we have my old desk that I used to use as far as on my computer desk or wherever. When I finally got rid of my L-shaped glass desk, I had got this thing, but it started bowing in the middle because I had something clamped like right here, as you can see this flood lamp is, and it started to bow. So now all we do is put the TV up here when we're not in use, when I'm not using this for product shots or anything like that, and then put it down here and then pull the table out further into this section to record top-down product openings, like I did for the previous video talking about the Vivitar little portable light thing. And essentially that flood lamp or wherever that's shining that purple hue just adds, light to the actual products. So what I do is on each side I put the softbox lighting that I just mentioned to add, obviously the regular light, and then add the colors from the flood lamp or wherever, just changing the colors to the actual little hue or outline of the product itself. Moving forward, I might just go ahead and use this portable light thing or wherever instead of using the flood lamp, just because I can put this on a cheap little tripod thing or wherever and move it around and probably get different angles as far as accent lighting goes. Moving on to the rest of the table, we have this old MacBook from 2010. I've had it was actually on deployment with me and everything when I was in the military. It's pretty much the thing I used in the military. It's very old. Obviously the parts and stuff are not that good, but I use it pretty much to pull up product information if I am using this table. I bring up the product information on this 24-inch monitor that I have hooked up, and then I use the 65% keyboard that I've talked about in the past with the wireless mouse, and I just bring up the Amazon page or any notes or something like that, because I don't write scripts. I just have notes as far as like keynotes or whatever to talk about a product or description or something like that of the product to kind of keep me on track, because again, mental issues. But I don't like writing scripts because I feel like if you're reading off a script or something like that, it makes the video feel really, really fake. And I notice it anytime I'm watching a video that somebody is actually reading off a script. Regardless on how good they do it, I can always tell. And it's actually super annoying feeling, at least for me. So moving on to this portion, this is just a kit lens for the Sony ZV E10 and the Sony Alpha 6100 that I use. And then over here is a charging station for my wireless lavalier mics. Pretty much this is another transmitter that if my wife was vlogging with me or recording a video with me, I would have her mic'd up too. It's by this company that nobody really talks about. I found a couple videos on, but I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that name. But I think it's Cinco. I think that's how you say it. But it was between that and the Rode wireless mics. But this one actually comes with the lavalier mics that you can actually use. Whereas Rode, if you get the wireless transmitters, you have to get a separate lavalier mic. And this was the only one that was close in price, but still cheaper, that actually came with the lavalier mics and actually sounded good, at least from what I have seen on reviews. So I would recommend this company. I've been using these obviously for all my stuff. Be careful on getting anything that's sub 100 unless it's a shotgun mic. But if you're going for wireless lavaliers, you're looking towards closer to $200 for that. It's just, again, it's one of those things that you can't cheap out on, is audio and lighting. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, I used to have on the desk itself, the desktop, like all the charging stuff, but I actually put it underneath the table. And it's just underneath the table, as you can see. I got an extension power cord right here, and underneath the table is actually a 10-port USB charging station or wherever, and you just plug in, again, 10 USBs into it, and that's all my camera batteries. They're all adhesive underneath the desk, so I just go to the edge of the desk right there, and I just underneath, I can feel, because the batteries are different, so I can just feel which ones I need to pop out or wherever, so it doesn't clutter the desk, especially if I needed to do an unboxing and stuff like that. I don't have to worry about moving everything and all that stuff or wherever. So again, all just stuck underneath the desk. Just pop out whatever batteries I need, put them back in. They're all spread out, easy access to get to and stuff like that. Moving on to one of the key pivotal things for the setup is actually this camera glider that I have over here, that I've talked about multiple times, that allows me to pan back and forth, getting panning, sweeping shots, straight on shots and stuff for product reviews. This is a key cornerstone to everything that allows me to do everything that I pretty much need to do for product reviews. And this is from Newer. It's just a motorized thing. It doesn't really make that much noise. You have to get super, super close to even really hear any audible noise to it. But it pans from left to right, obviously. It comes with this little remote control that allows you to set how far you want it to pan or slide across or wherever from left to right. And it comes with this. Again, it uses the same batteries. It comes with its own batteries. And I would recommend getting another set for backup, even if you're gonna get this thing, just because when I initially got it, after a while of having it, I would say like a month and a half, the batteries had an issue or something like that. So they were both dead. They wouldn't charge or recharge or hold a charge or wherever. So I just got new ones, and they're not really expensive as far as buying the new batteries, but just keep that in mind that you might want to go ahead if you get this thing and get some new batteries. It's on a cheap tripod that, like I mentioned earlier, it's another one that you can get from Walmart. And they're really cheap anyways. And I had to go and get, for this setup, some actual stabilization arms that they sell separately but on the Amazon page, they don't show these at all. I had to go look for them because I noticed I couldn't really have the thing pan back and forth on this tripod, because I usually just sat it on the table and got the B-roll. But in order to have this on the tripod, you notice like the weight, depending on what camera you use or how far you let it go out to the side, that it needs a stabilization. So I started looking, same color, same company, everything like that. But again, when you go to purchase the camera glider, they don't suggest it or say, you know, people bought this as a combo or whatever. But again, highly recommend them. If you're going to get it and you're going to put it on a tripod, you need these arm stabilizations. But again, this camera glider allows you to have it glide back and forth. It allows you to have a focal point, so no matter where you go, it will stay on, like on your subject or item or wherever. Or you can have it do a panning motion like this, or you can just have it go in a straight line left and right. So you have 3 different options right there. And again, that's probably one of the most expensive stuff other than the actual cameras itself, because, and possibly the lavalier mics are kind of expensive too, but that's like $200, and the lavalier mic is like $200. But again, that's only if you're gonna do product shots. But the most expensive thing that will come down to it is actually getting a lavalier, wireless lavalier mic. And I highly, highly recommend it, because with shotgun mics, you need to get them closer to you to really get good audio wherever and not have distortion in your recordings or wherever. So even if you're doing something like I'm doing right now, vlogging, you can get away with a shotgun mic, but I highly recommend getting a wireless lavalier mic, and especially the one that I got, because after I learned the trick for the audio, as far as like the audio settings and in my editing software, I haven't had an issue. So if you do decide to get a shotgun mic, I highly recommend this. And this is what I use for sound test if I do keyboards. It's just an inexpensive, I guess, microphone boom arm that you can get. It's an Amazon basic thing. You have to get like a thread mount or wherever. But this is what, since I don't always do keyboard or anything like that reviews, this is what I attach the Sony ZV-1 to do the top-down unboxing videos or something like that of a product. And all I do is, since I have a thread mount adapter and obviously the bottom of the camera, it just attaches here, just aims straight down and gets that top-down shot, and is supported by the 3 legs and this little arm that comes off the back. And that's pretty much how I record the top-down videos for products and stuff like that. And that would actually conclude the whole living room studio tour. Again, I know it was pretty long. I know I try to be in depth, but also keep it under wraps and stuff like that. Again, if you're interested in any of these products or something like that, there will be a link down to in the description to my kit that has all the products individually that you can look at and see what I use. And if you're interested what I use in my actual office for streaming or doing videos and stuff like that for YouTube, you can also check out that video. It will be linked in the description as well. So with that being said, this has been the living room studio tour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully this turns out pretty good. I don't know if this was a good video or bad video. I don't know yet. I had to edit it and everything. I tried to make it not as long, but apparently it's going to be long. So I do apologize for that. But I feel like this, again, is not really the expensive part. It's mostly of my $5,000 or $15,000 setup. I would say the most expensive part is probably still the office, because I haven't shown you guys my wife's setup, and hopefully it turns out pretty well. But with that being said, y'all take care, have a squid-tastic day. Thank you guys for watching this video. And again, if you want to see future vlogs, just let me know in the comments. If you're looking to pick up anything for yourself and you do end up picking something up for yourself, let me know in the comments as well. And let me know what you think was the most interesting product in this setup, or what was your favorite. I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces, everybody.